Finding fame at a young age may seem like a dream come true. Sadly, many times child stars are biting off more than they can chew. Being thrust into the spotlight can leave them without a childhood, which may lead to some pretty troubling trauma that eventually triggers mental illness. If you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Today we are discussing 10 child actors with mental health disorders as adults. Just wait until you hear how one child actress is helping others by talking about her crippling anxiety and OCD. Amanda Bynes. Former Nickelodeon star began her career as a child actor when she was only 7 years old, and it didn't take long for Amanda Bynes to land a role on the network's highly popular sketch show All That. Because of her comedic timing and her wholesome image, Amanda also scored her own show, cleverly named The Amanda Show, which ran for 3 seasons. Then, when her teenage years rolled around, she was ready to make a jump to the big screen, and to no one's surprise, it went off without a hitch. But a little over a decade later, the once promising star began expressing some erratic behavior on social media as well as in real life. She was arrested for 2 DUIs and 2 hit and runs, but took to Twitter to ask President Obama to remove her charges because she wasn't a drinker. The star also locked herself in a dressing room of a clothing store for a couple of hours, only to emerge from the room as if nothing happened. Then her family finally stepped in and the actress removed herself from the spotlight. In 2017, she finally came clean about her drug use and mental health disorders. She is sober and taking it one day at a time, but she does hope to flex her acting muscles again sometime in the near future. Christina Aguilera. She may have started her solo music career in 1999 with her single Genie in a Bottle, but Christina Aguilera has been on the music scene for decades. The singer got her start from performing in talent shows in her hometown. Then when she was 13, she landed a contract as a Mouseketeer on the Mickey Mouse Club. Though she only lasted 2 seasons, she wasn't done with Disney just yet. Christina teamed up with the popular entertainment company when she recorded Reflection for Disney's 1998 movie Mulan. Considering she has been able to stay relevant since her early days, you might find it hard to believe that Christina Aguilera suffers from a mental health disorder. Out of the other child stars we know, we've never really seen the singer have a mental breakdown. However, she finally confessed that she suffers from depression in 2010. Christina explained that her depression is something that is always below the surface, but she is actually thankful for her darkest days. It's at these times that she finds ways to express herself creatively. The fact that 1 in 4 women will encounter feelings of depression at some point in their life, it's not shocking that an overworked pop star would feel this way as well. It just goes to show that even people who seem to have it all together may actually be suffering in silence. LeAnn Rimes. Going through an awkward teen phase is hard for anyone, but when you do it in the spotlight, like LeAnn Rimes, it can be even worse. The singer burst onto the music scene at the tender age of 13. She also scored a role on a soap opera when she was 16, technically making her an underage actress as well. But almost as quickly as she started her rise to fame, she began receiving criticism about her appearance and weight. It didn't help the singer had to perform 3 times a day for 3.5 hours on top of that. This would put a strain on anyone's life, let alone a teenage performer. Because of this, LeAnn started dealing with mental health issues. In fact, it seems like the singer always had a form of anxiety thanks to her psoriasis, a painful skin condition caused by an overactive immune system. The condition would cause her anxiety, and the anxiety would make the condition worse. So it became a vicious cycle that seemed impossible to manage. Then as she got older, the singer dealt with depression on top of her anxiety and skin condition. It was at that time the star started getting really skinny and checked herself into a mental health facility. Tabloids speculated that she had an eating disorder or drug abuse issues, but that simply wasn't true. Thankfully, she is in a good place these days with her treatment and is better than ever, both physically and mentally. Lisa Jakub. If you're a fan of the 90s hit movie Miss Doubtfire, then this face may look familiar, but you probably don't know her name. This is Lisa Jakub, and way before she was playing the eldest kid of Sally Field and Robin Williams in Miss Doubtfire, she was a child actor. In fact, the talented star began acting when she was only 4 years old. By the time she was 22, she had been in over 40 productions. Many would consider this to be a great success, but sadly, Lisa didn't feel the same. After her early years in the spotlight, the actress turned her back on Hollywood and moved on to bigger and better things. While working on herself and her new life, Lisa found a love for writing, and during this exploration of herself, she started facing her mental illnesses head-on. The ex-child star battled with depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. Not wanting to perpetuate the stigma against talking about mental health issues, Lisa decided to write a book about her experience experiences, as well as experiences of others who share similar stories. She hopes her book will help others to cope with their own mental illness and make it more normal to talk about it. What do you feel about the stigma surrounding this issue? Do you think it's time for a change? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Jonathan Lipnicki. Back in the late 90s, Jonathan Lipnicki was arguably the cutest kid in show business. Starring in movies like Jerry Maguire and Stuart Little, he stole the hearts of millions. But then, in a matter of 2 years, it seems like he was nowhere to be found. How could an adorable young star with so much potential just disappear? Many speculated Jonathan was just another child star gone crazy, but that actually wasn't the case. While it wouldn't be unusual for a kid in Hollywood to spiral out of control, this actor's story wasn't nearly as dramatic, though it was equally as sad. As Jonathan approached middle school, he was at the end of his child acting career. Because of this, the kids at his school started to bully him. His peers would tell him he was a has-been and that his career would never take off as an adult. The relentless bullying caused the young star to have anxiety and panic attacks. He would get so nervous before school that he rubbed his hands together so hard that it caused him to have eczema. Eventually, all this internal grief led to a battle with depression. Thankfully, he didn't let his bullies control his life. The actor sought treatment and also found refuge in playing basketball. Just being active on the basketball court for 1 hour a day helped him take his mind off his anxiety. What's even better is that he's booked more jobs as an adult actor than he did as a kid, so he can rub that in the face of anyone who ever tried to bring him down. Lark Voorhies. Actor Lark Voorhies became a household name thanks to her role as Lisa Turtle on the classic 90s television show Saved by the Bell. Her character was spunky, full of sass, and one of the richest kids at Bayside High. But when the show ran its course, it seemed like Lark's career went along with it. While she did have a few smaller roles here and there, they were never quite as big as the role that made her a star. Then throughout the years, tabloids started noticing some erratic behavior from Lark. Many members of the press started mocking and commenting on the actress's bizarre makeup looks. What many people didn't know at the time was that Lark was silently suffering from an autoimmune disease, lupus, which caused butterfly rashes on her face. Because makeup seemed to be the only thing that helped cover the appearance of the rashes, she would pile it on her face. But that wasn't the only thing that caused people to worry about her mental health. After a series of strange social media posts and interviews, Lark's mother confessed that the star was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. The actress denies that she has any mental health issues. We hope if she does have any health concerns, she would just come clean. We wouldn't want her to perpetuate the stigma that there is something wrong with having a mental health condition. Justin Bieber. Thanks to Usher and YouTube, the world was blessed with the uber-talented pop star Justin Bieber. While you may not personally be a fan of the guy, that doesn't mean he isn't one of the biggest celebs on the planet. And because of his music videos and a little role on NCIS, the young star also got to flex his acting chops, making him a quasi-child actor in the process. But gaining worldwide fame at such a young age isn't always a great thing. Thanks to the way his brand was marketed when he was younger, the singer was set up for failure as he approached adulthood. Every negative move he made was put under a magnifying glass, and it seemed like the world forgot that he was a teen trying to figure out his footing in the world. The negative press got worse and worse and forced Justin to reinvent himself. When it seemed like he left his rebellious ways in the past, the pop star finally opened up about fame and the effect it's had on his mental health. He claimed that his life might seem glamorous, but it can get very lonely, which leads him to depression. So when he canceled the remainder of his tour in 2017 due to wanting to heal his mind, heart, and soul, no one was really shocked. But celebrities far and wide stood up for the star and praised him for taking care of himself first. The stage will always be there for Justin when he wants to return. We just hope he gets so much needed rest and relaxation. Mandy Moore. The singer-turned-actress Mandy Moore has seemed to have revived her career thanks to the major success of NBC's TV show This Is Us. But before she was melting our hearts on the small screen, Mandy was a teen singer heating up the airways in the late 90s and early 2000s. When her single Candy came out in 1999, the world knew she was a star on the rise. Her wholesome image plus adorable teen looks made her a non-threatening pop star everyone could look up to. And when she started transitioning into adulthood as an actress, she didn't seem to have any issues booking gigs. But just because everything seemed great in paradise, it doesn't always mean that it was. Mandy was actually battling with issues of self-doubt and depression. Back in 2007, the star revealed that she would find herself slipping into depression, which was hard for her because she's always so positive. Things got so intense for the star that she started questioning her whole existence. In this time, she found that writing was her best therapy, and she seems to be doing better than ever these days. Considering the popularity of her new show, we are pretty sure she has a lot to to be excited about, and we hope she is in a better place in her life. Macaulay Culkin. Back in the 90s, there was no child star bigger than Macaulay Culkin. The actor was such a huge star that he was able to demand $1 million paycheck for just one movie, a record amount of money for a child actor at the time. With roles like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, we never thought we'd see the day that Macaulay wasn't on the big screen. Sadly, as the star got older, he started distancing himself from Hollywood. But just because he was done with Hollywood, that doesn't mean the entertainment industry was done with him. The retired child star started making headlines for every move he made. From marrying his teen girlfriend to looking disheveled walking through the streets of New York, he didn't have a moment of privacy. It didn't take long for the tabloids to start accusing Macaulay of being a drug addict, and the fact that he was arrested for possession of Xanax, an anti-anxiety medication, didn't help his case to deny his addiction. Though he did finally speak out against the rumor that he is a heroin addict, that doesn't mean he isn't an addict altogether. And what many people don't know is that drug addiction is considered a mental health disorder because of the effects drugs has on your brain. Couple that with his use of anxiety medication, Macaulay Culkin is yet another child actor struggling with mental health disorders as an adult. Mara Wilson. If you were a fan of the Matilda movie back in the day, then Mara Wilson's face fully brings up some pretty happy memories. Sadly, we can't say the same for the once child star. Growing up in the public light wasn't always the best for her. Though she was a talented kid actor, her image of herself wasn't always the best. That is mostly because tabloids and casting directors would crush her for her weight and appearance. What is worse is that she was barely even a teenager when all this went down. This would have negative effects on even the most confident person, let alone a teen. So instead of dealing with Hollywood's impossible beauty standards, the star decided to walk away from show business. Then by the time she was in 7th grade, the tween was diagnosed with OCD, depression, and general anxiety disorder. Even though she was struggling with her mental health, the star always thought she would return to the big screen one day. But she reconsidered when she was 16, and even thinking about a return to acting caused her to have anxiety attacks. After that, she hung up her acting boots for good. Considering she learned about her disorders at a young age, the star has been able to keep them in check. She has even written a book about her struggles in hopes it helps others with similar stories. Are you surprised by any of these stories? React in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to The Taco.